So we want to look at another set of transformations here. Can you see how this is different from what we did in the last two lessons? Let's go back to the start there. We had a +3, but it was outside of x squared. Now, both the +3 and the -2 are inside the function. Let's take a look at what this means. And you should be thinking about it. What does it mean? So we are going to start again with our basic function as the quadratic function, because we know this one. We're all familiar with this graph. We've been studying it since Math 99. So we know the basic points. We know our x, y coordinates. We know that the graph is a parabola. So now we have this x +3. Clearly, x is going to change. Now let's think about the vertex, because I think that's a good place to think about it. Is this graph going to move up and down? Well, no, we just found the up and down vertical shift when the +3 was outside of the function. So we could probably guess that this graph is going to move left or right. Now, if we want the graph to only move left or right, that means that the vertex still needs to be on the x-axis. That means that y still needs to equal 0. So how are we going to change this? What's going to happen to x so that y can equal 0? Well, if I look at x, I see that when x is -3, y is equal to 0. How did we change x? We subtracted 3. So when we have a +3 inside the function with x, we need to do the opposite of the sign. Y is going to stay the same. So if I subtract 3 from x, I have -4, y stays the same. 1 subtract 3 is -2, y stays the same. Let's graph that here on the grid I've given you. -4, 1, -3, 0, -2, 1. Notice that it's the same parabola that we had, but now it's been shifted to the left. Even though this is a +3, this is a graph that shifted 3 units left. It's a horizontal shift. So notice what we did there. This is important and you need to remember it. When we have a +3 inside the function, we change x with the opposite sign. That is not when we're multiplying, when we have a reflection. No, that is just for adding and subtracting. Let's look at the next example. We see we have a -2 inside the brackets with x. We're changing x. What do you think we're going to do? Yes, it's going to be the opposite, x +2, and y stays the same. Let's check over here again with our vertex. If y stays the same, we want y to equal 0. If x is 2, will y be 0? Yes. We know that we have to add 2 to get that 0. So back to our original function, -1 + 2 is +1. Y stays the same. And our last point here, x +2, 3, y stays the same. So we have 1, 1, 2, 0, 3, 1. we can see that this graph, when we had a -2, was a shift, a horizontal shift 2 units to the right. So when it's inside the bracket, it's the opposite of what you think it should be. This is important for you to remember. Let's put our summary here. So when that k is greater than 0 and it is inside the brackets, it's inside the function. If this is a plus sign, then we know that the graph is going to shift left k units. We're changing x and we're going to subtract k, and y stays the same. When we have a minus sign here, the graph is going to shift right k units. Again, we're going to change x. We're going to add k, and y stays the same. So a plus sign with k inside means we're subtracting. A minus sign inside means we're adding. Make sure you copy this. Again, put it on your bathroom mirror, beside your bed, maybe on your refrigerator. You can't open it for a snack unless you remember these rules. They are important.